Hello everyone and welcome to part 8 of my Milwaukee Bucks MyGM on the Xbox One here on Cloud 92 TV. And starting off this episode, we're going up against the San Antonio Spurs in San Antonio. And as we're heading into it, I just want to show you guys that Jabari Parker will not be playing because of a concussion he got during the simulation. And Shane Battier we recently signed to our team, but I did not get footage of it. Also, Tim Duncan will not be playing because of a shoulder sprain in this game. I'll see you guys down at the court. So as I said, we are facing the San Antonio Spurs in this episode, and the Spurs have a good amount of injuries on this team. They do not have Tim Duncan, and despite that, they are still the #1 team in the Western Conference, so that is definitely something to give them credit for, to not have probably their best player and still be playing at such a high level. And one thing that is going to be extremely important for our team is the loss of Jabari Parker. He has a concussion, so he may be out for up to 4 weeks, and that would be just terrible for our team, because our next best small forward is Carlos Stofino rating wise, but despite him having a higher rating, I'm considering giving the starting spot to Giannis Antetokounmpo just because he's the younger player and I do think he needs more experience out on the court. So normally at the beginning of these videos, I normally talk to you guys about news going on in the NBA or something like that, but actually nothing has really happened in the NBA so far. Still, the big 3 free agents have not decided to sign anywhere, and I think that's really surprising. I thought by now one of those big 3 guys was going to make up their mind, but they're still all up in the air. So let's get into the gameplay of this episode. Paul Gasol's in the post. They actually have Udo, who was a player that used to be on the Bucks. He never actually played in this series because I traded him away in the first episode, but now for some reason he's on the Spurs. I do not remember making a trade with the Spurs, so I think he signed there during free agency. And look at Vince Carter getting dunked right underneath the hoop. We're staying with the Spurs at this point, which I think is pretty good considering they are probably the best team in the NBA right now. Here's Giannis wide open on the right wing, and he will make that shot. It's a tie game at 21, and this game was probably one of the most high-scoring games I think in this series so far. Both teams were just playing phenomenally on offense, and there was probably little to no defense played in this game, and I felt that the best way to run our offense with this new team is to run pick and rolls and go on the fast break. We have a ton of young guys that are good at that, except for Vince Carter and Paul Gasol, but even Vince Carter can get up and down the court really easily in this game. So now we're near the end of the first quarter. Rodney Hood's getting the ball. He's driving to the left side, kicking it out to Giannis Antetokounmpo at the 3-point line, and now the score is 30-27. There's 15 seconds left in the first quarter. Norris Cole is getting a pick from the newest Milwaukee Bucks, Shane Battier. He's going to drive to the right side, kick it out to Adrian Payne, who's going to go in the post. 5 seconds left. He's going to try to get one more basket. He's going to go up, and he gets blocked. And that will end the first quarter. Not the best way to end the first quarter for our team, but you have to give credit to the Spurs because that was a phenomenal defensive play. Starting off the second, it's still a close game. Larry Sanders is in the post. He's going to pump fake, drive in, and get a contested layup at the hoop. We're up by 3 points now, and we just could not shake off the Spurs team at the beginning of the game. The lead just kept going from 2 to 3 points. They would get tied every once in a while. I think in the first half there was like 8 lead changes. And look at Manu Ginobili doing a spin pass to Udo. That makes the lead just down to 1 point. Here after a foul, Carlos Stofino is inbounding the ball. He's going to give it to JaVale McGee, who's going to pass it out to Larry Sanders. He's going to drive in and posterize 2 San Antonio Spurs defenders. You know I had to show the replay after that dunk. One of the defenders that fell down was a rookie, and the other one was Udo. So we did get our revenge on our past Milwaukee Bucks player. Just an amazing play right there by Larry Sanders. And right after that play, you think the cheese fry team is over, but look right here. Kawhi Leonard's falling down, and he is hurt on the ground. Do you think our team is going to stop from scoring? No, we're going to play 4-on-5 here. We're giving it to Carlos Stofino. He's going to drive to the left side. Look who's wide open. Vince Carter shooting the 3. He misses it. Luckily, we get another chance to beat them 4-on-5. Now Carlos Stofino is wide open for a 3. He's going to make that. We take a 6-point lead, and we're playing dirty on the Spurs, playing them 4-on-5. We probably just should have made it a dead ball, let him get to the sideline, but we made him stay on the court for a little bit, and that was just a crazy play in this game, crazy sequence of events. And look at his injury too, it's a concussion for 1 to 2 weeks. 2K definitely needs to fix that. It looked like he fell on his ankle weird or something like that. There's no way that play looked like a concussion whatsoever. And now Vince Carter's getting the steal. He's going all the way up court, defenders in his face, and he gets the dunk to make an 8-point lead. We are blowing this game open, and we have a huge advantage on the Spurs team now, especially because they do not have Tim Duncan or Kawhi Leonard. That just leaves Manu and Tony Parker left, and look at Tony Parker getting that layup on the other end after a fast break. Under 4 minutes left in the first half, Vince Carter has the ball. He's crossing over to the left, passes it out to a wide open Brandon Knight. Why would they leave Brandon Knight open? He's a great 3-point shooter in this game. Now we have an 11-point lead, and the Spurs are playing terrible now. They're inbounding the ball to Thiago Splitter, who is definitely not a ball handler. Here's Giannis Antetokounmpo. He's going to take it to the other end of the court and get a dunk. That will end the very first half of this game. Now the score at halftime is 60-51. We have a 9-point lead, and one thing I did not realize is that Larry Sanders was actually having a pretty good all-around game, because I personally thought that Brandon Knight was having the best game out there. I think he ended with a double-double, and look at Vince Carter starting off the second half. We were just outplaying this San Antonio Spurs team on the break. Here's Brandon Knight. He's crossing over Tony Parker. He cannot make the layup in traffic. Tony Parker gets the ball, and Brandon Knight is way far behind him. There's no defender on him, and he's going to take it coast to coast, getting a layup at the other end. Good defense by Vince Carter, but he could not block him. And as this gameplay is going on, I do want to talk to you guys about something involving this episode. If you see the title of this episode, it's The Roster is Set, and we actually make a pretty big trade at the end of this. If you guys remember the last episode of this series, you'll remember that I told you that Ersan Ilyasova was being paid way too much money for a guy that's coming off the bench. So I do trade him away at the end of this, and I trade him for a good player. He's from the Phoenix Suns, and I was really happy with the way the trade worked out. And after that trade, we are probably going to be set for the rest of the season. There are only really 2 issues with that trade, and the first one is that we are down a power forward, so I do go out and make a second trade and get another power forward just to have a backup one on this team. And the other issue is that the player that I traded for on the Suns, he only has 1 year left on his contract, so we just need to be able to keep him around after this season. So let's go back into the gameplay. There's under 2 minutes left in the third quarter. Norris Cole has the ball. He's driving in, and he gets blocked by Thiago Splitter, his second block of the game. Tony Parker is taking it coast to coast. He's passing it to Ikaip Udo, and he gets a dunk right back at Larry Sanders. After that one earlier, you knew he was looking for revenge. And despite that play, we're still playing good. We still have a 7-point lead, and right as I say that, the lead is down to 5. There's under 10 seconds left in the third quarter. Tony Parker has the ball. They're going to give it to Thiago Splitter. Larry Sanders is the bigger guy, but Splitter gets the basket on Sanders. Now there's only 3 seconds left in the third, and they fell asleep on D. They're leaving Vince Carter wide open for 3, and he makes it. A key play going into the fourth quarter. Rather than being up by 3, we have a 2-possession lead. We're up by 6, and that was an extremely important play for this team. At the start of the fourth, for some reason, they have Tony Parker playing defense on Paul Gasol. We're going to pass it out to Brandon Knight, who will make a 3-pointer and 2 key 3-pointers at the start of the fourth quarter, which will bump up our lead to 9 points. And now with so much leadership not there on the court, the Spurs are playing terrible defense, something that they're known to be really good at. And it's amazing to watch a team like the Bucks that were in a rebuilding process last year to be beating the Spurs by 10 points right now. And it's especially amazing when you consider how great the Spurs have been in the last couple of years. So they're giving the ball to Danny Green on the right side. He's missing a 3-pointer. Ikaip Udo is getting the rebound, and he's making the shot. So it's still a 10-point game with under 5 minutes left. Vince Carter has the ball. He's going to drive in, but nothing is there. He's going to give it to Paul Gasol, but Paul Gasol is tired. Ikaip Udo just steals it right from him. Parker's running up court. He gives it to Danny Green, and Danny Green slams it at the other end. Now the pressure is on the Bucks to close out this game. We're doing a pick and roll with Carlos Delfino and Paul Gasol. He's driving in, giving it to Gasol, and they leave JaVale McGee wide open. Great play and teamwork for the Milwaukee Bucks. Now there's under 3 minutes left. Splitter's giving it to Manu Ginobili. He drives right past Vince Carter and gets a layup right at the hoop. It's a 7-point game. The lead is down to 5, and the Spurs are pressing. Brandon Knight is getting the ball. He's going to drive down court. He sees Paul Gasol wide open, and Paul Gasol's making jump shots even when he's tired. He's clutch in these situations. Now up by 7, just a couple more baskets will clinch us this game. Brandon Knight missing a layup at the hoop for some reason, and Vince Carter's getting the rebound. He's kicking it out back to Brandon Knight, and for some reason Brandon Knight knows how to make mid-range shots, but he cannot make layups. Now the Spurs have the ball. They need some 3-pointers here. Vince Carter's jumping at Tony Parker for some reason, and Parker's making layups while colliding with Larry Sanders, and there's no call there. Under a minute left. Giannis Antetokounmpo's in the post. He sees Vince Carter on the left side. Back to Antetokounmpo for 3, and that will clinch the game. We have a 10-point lead with under a minute. There's no way the Spurs could come back in that situation. Your final score is 107-99, and an amazing performance by the Milwaukee Bucks. I thought, especially after last game against the Bulls that the Spurs game was going to be even harder, but we actually did pretty well against them, even without Jabari Parker. So here are your final game stats. Ike Udo had 20 points. I kind of wish I didn't trade him if he was going to play like that. Vince Carter was our leading scorer with 21 points. So after that game, I'm going to simulate all the way up to February 24th. I know it looks like I'm simulating up to February 20th, but I ended up simulating it just a little bit further than that, and here's the trade I was talking about. I traded away Ersan Ilyasova in the Wizards' first-round pick for Gordon Dragic, and I love this player. I think he's going to be a great addition to the team, and now we need a new power forward, so I traded away Rodney Hood for DeJounte Blair, and I think that was a good trade because Rodney Hood would not be getting that much playing time since he would be competing with Vince Carter for the backup shooting guard spot. So I just showed you guys the Eastern and Western All-Stars, and the only player that we had on the All-Star team was Jabari Parker, which I think is really good considering he's a rookie. We are now the 4th best team in our conference. I think we dropped down a little bit, and I'm surprised the Cavaliers are the 3rd best team. So I hope you guys had a fun time watching this video. Next episode, Gordon Dragic will have his first game with the Milwaukee Bucks. I hope you guys are excited to see that. Be sure to have a great day. God bless you guys. Bye.